we've got Rowan Hunt coming up from Denim Research. He's going to awaken our curiosity if it's not already awoken yet. So Rowan, welcome.
Lovely. Thanks so much, Angela. Let me just share my screen. Okay, great. So today, thank you for inviting me and welcome everyone. I'm going to talk about curiosity-led research and how curiosity led me on to find out and research some really interesting things. So here's a little bit of background, what I'm going to go through, who I am, curiosity, how I found some good research, a couple of things I use as tools to think about things, how to be inspired, and then some further reading. So here I am. Hi, I'm Rowan Hunt. I'm a responsible denim specialist working in denim research. I have been for the last couple of years. Before then, I was lucky enough to work in brands like in the UK for people like Debenhams, Next, Fat Face, M&S. Lucky enough to travel around the world, developing products. I've done not just denim. Before that, I was doing outerwear and shirts and things like that. But recently, I've moved into obviously the more specialized, I say responsible instead of sustainable, because sustainable is not as, I think being responsible about your choices you make is the more, the better word, I'd say. Okay, so that's me. Okay, so I'm curious. It's an eager to know or to learn something. So, curiosity, it's all about, exploring things, investigating, learning. And it's that kind of child's sense of curiosity. So here I got this image, actually I Wikipedia, and this is the first image that come up. You can see, maybe it's a US naval officer, but she's got a camera and taking some pictures, but all these kids are gathered around, and they're not just gathered around, they're leaning in, having a really good look because they're curious how it works, what's going on it. And this is what I would inspire people to be like. Never lose the curiosity, because I never have, and it's just taking me on to lots of different things. Here's a couple of the things I'd say curiosity has led me down. So the first image is a gene I planted, actually, because biodegradability about 3-4 years ago was getting big. So I was thinking, I need to find out firsthand how this works. Does it work? Does it take as long as people say? Because you Google loads of different things. So I planted it in my garden, dug it up every 4 weeks to see if it did and how long it took. And this was 100% cotton. So I was like, that's cool. What else could I do? And then I thought, I know that Wrangler gene that John Gormley put up is amazing. They had all the kind of amazing lycra showing through. So I'll do that. I'll plant that. So this is, I couldn't really see. So I bought myself a microscope because I really want to see what was going on. So inside here, you'll see, this is the lycra that's left. All the cotton's gone. And below that, you can see probably the polyester stitching, and see what's going on, that it hasn't degraded at all. So actually first-hand information, it hasn't. Then it led me on to getting my fades out, looking at my really cool, nice APC faded, and really having a closer look, because we talk about the chip off the indigo because the ring dyeing to get these fades, but actually you can see it's taking off some of the fibers at the same time. But it's just a beautiful image. You can see the really white cores coming through. And then the M1's hemp. So looking at hemp through a microscope, this is like a wet spun. So instead of cottonizing it and stripping everything out, this has got some impurities left in from the hemp. So we have things like pectins, tannins, maybe some glue, because it will be bound together. And that's what you've got to strip off with chemicals. But you can see here, actually, this is kind of parts of glue. So this is me kind of looking further in. This is a really good analogy I found. There's a book written by Simon Sinek called Finding the Why. It's mainly focused at brands and looking at, everyone knows how to do things, what it is, but finding the why we do things is quite a deep and meaningful thing. So this is how I translate it into denim, really. So this is a really nice kind of pair of vintage jeans. So what is it? It's a nice pair of vintage jeans. I think a lot of people could tell us that. How's it got like that? Well, it's dark at the top and lighter down the bottom and stuff. So it's over time, it must be an old jean. It looks quite old. So that's probably why. And then the why. Why is, why have you got rips here? You haven't got rips on that side. Why are the whiskers around here? Why is that faded on that area only? Why is it lighter down there? Why is it patched only on one knee? Why is the waistband darker than the body? Why are the seams on the inside swinging out to the left and then the outer swinging into the left? There's a lot of questions, a lot of investigations we can do into this. So what I've done is I've got 5 examples what I've been looking into. The Crackle Denim. Crackle Denim, I think, in a nutshell, is authentic. It's got character. It moves in the wash. So then when you wash it, it automatically comes. So here's a catwalk image. You can see it's got some nice texture, heavily kind of laundered. here's a branded one from store. So you can see actually what's going on. You're actually getting these diagonal lines coming through. But how do diagonal lines come? Because if you've got a warp and a weft, they're 90 degrees angles to each other. One goes down, one goes across. It's not a diagonal at 45. So that's, led me on to go, how's this done? Back in the day, shrink to fit, this kind of thing, you get differential shrinkage, you get twisteds and skews and imperfections, and that was cool. But then nowadays, it's cool to have one or two, but the whole production's got to be the same. So it's quite hard to control. So we look at modern day, here's two examples of yarns. This would be an OE yarn. So more of a packaged yarn, I would say. It's twisted together and held together, but it's not tightly spun. So I think it's a bit more loose. This is a ring. So you'd see it's a lot more twisted, and it's, looping around. It's having a lot more compacted. So if we run these parallel on the weft, for instance, and we washed it, and would the shrinkage be the same or would it be different? What I'm finding is, you can get differential shrinkages between the warps, and you can run different counts to get this. So when that pulls with the warp, it gives you that 45-degree angle. So this is how I found crackle effects. And that's from me looking in, questioning, blitzing like yarn people as well as fabric people, asking why, how do you do it? Because for a stretch version of this, it's a different way again of doing it. Why does seams twist or skew? So here's a few examples. So Levi's right hand twill, Z twill, as we know. So here from the top right down to left, bottom left, this is what we call a Z twill. But and here's a Lee on the left hand and S twill. So this goes from top to left. This is quite interesting because they're two different brands, but what you can see is the skew. So the outer leg on this one is going in and the inner leg is going out. And then here it's opposite. The outer leg on there is going in and going out kind of thing. So this is the skew. So is this to do with the weave that actually is giving it? So non-sanforized jeans would have done this. And then obviously recognizing Wrangler's broken twill, which is actually obviously designed to, it's a 50-50 split pretty much between these. So you get the straightness coming through and then a less of a skew. So then looking at modern day, 1999, the Levi's engineered, really nice design, really out there kind of ideas. But the twist in the front, or I'm coming from the side through to the front, could this have been, an idea from here? Maybe. But then they did it on both sides because the human eye obviously likes a symmetry. So this is maybe why they designed it in this way. So it's a bit more of a commercial way, but obviously denim heads love this because it shows it's non-sanforized and it's given a nice twist. And then modern day. So this is catwalks now. It's almost looking at the twist between. So if you saw this on the catwalk, you could work backwards and research why, or you could start this way around and work out, actually, I don't want the twist at the bottom, I want it at the top. So this is kind of how I work. And a lot of the time things do come together, but sometimes curiosity, you go off and then you'll come back later and it'll kind of dovetail back into each other. Why does denim fade like this? This was a nice jean I saw. I tried to buy it. Someone beat me to it. Really kind of nice patterning going on, really ripped, nice kind of templates worn from raw. So really authentic. But it's these kind of patterns here, this sun faded element, or these kind of patching, could be bleaching, but it's probably crumpled and be left out in the sun and getting this really kind of nice patterning coming in. So why does it do that? So I tried it. I got two pairs of jeans. My mother's got a small holding with a goat shed, and I tied it to the top of them. And you see here actually where I actually twisted. I tried to twist the jeans so I can trying to make it, replicate it. And these are two pairs of jeans I did, and I found as well the indigo faded within 6 months. And this is really how much. But when you look at the black, it doesn't look as strong, but because it's a sulfur black, it takes a lot longer. So this took 12 months. So it's interesting to see how different dyes do different things as well. And then here's, from vintage, there's a 1940s dungaree I've got, but really kind of amazing, almost like tie-dye kind of effect. Obviously the reverse where you're bleaching out, but really kind of beautiful kind of patterning coming through. And then looking again at catwalks today, if this is kind of some patterning, some kind of effects that we're going for, could you work backwards, or did this effect come with trying to replicate hand-done versions of this, for instance? Okay, so why do we need to understand other cultures? So, 学习中文，对了解中国文化和经历，了解工厂的现场流程和内在细碎工艺是非常重要的。And that means learning Chinese is very important to understand the Chinese culture and economy, and to understand the production process of factories and denim and washing. And this is where it started. This is what I would get a wash, recipe to try and help on washing or engineer it. Numbers I can read. Some of the things you can probably work out, but characters, I've got no idea. I've got no idea what any of this means. So, and the other way, I went, they're not, the factory guys don't know it, and they're not willing, obviously, to learn. They don't need to. So I'm going to learn your language. For the last 2.5 years, I've been learning Mandarin to try and get an understanding. And I found the culture element fascinating and how you can understand. So here's some kind of examples. So New Zai Ku, which literally translates to new is cow, New Zai is cowboy, and Ku is pants. So cowboy pants is jeans. And that's what it means in Chinese. It's a literal translation. A cowboy pant is a pair of jeans. You could argue it's not, it could be canvas and stuff like that, but predominantly that's how it is. So it's that simplistic way of breaking things down and building them back together. So here's me and my Chinese teacher. Actually, I'm learning normal Chinese as well as trying to do technical Chinese. It's quite hard. We've labeled it all out. So here's some areas on the dry processing side, which is I found quite interesting. So here you've got 3 areas. Each one has Mao, and Mao means cat. So if you manage Mao Zhu Hen, which means a cat scratch or cat scratches, it gives you the idea. It's a whisker. They're talking about whisker templates. So every time you see this character, you get an idea. They're talking about something to do with the whisker template. Here, Zhu Tang Mu Shu, which means resin whiskers, but Tang means to iron or to press something down. And then Mao means cat. So you get the idea that they're trying to do these 3D whiskers. And here, Shu Zhu Mao Shu, which means resin whiskers. So the second character actually means like tree resin. So literal kind of translation. And then Mao is the whiskers. So you understand you need that application to go on, and then you bake it to do the kind of 3D whiskers. Okay. Number 5, this is my last one I'm going to talk on. This is what I really wanted to take it one step further than just looking at what we're doing here and what could be coming. So why do we need to allow our curiosity to extend beyond our own fields? So things like this, documentary on Netflix, hopefully a lot of you have seen this, Save Our Soils, and hope that it might just save us. This is Woody Harrelson's words, because he narrated the whole thing. And in a nutshell, it's all about the soil, and it's all about everything below the soil, the tilling, everything that damages the soil, which we need to grow stuff. So having the key elements in the soil, you till it, you turn it over, and you're destroying parts of it. So understanding that, organic cotton, for instance, we're only looking above the soil, but what's below? What do we need to protect to go? So then this led me on. I did some more research, and I found this book about eating to extinction by Dan Solano, the world's rarest foods and why we need to save them. This is all about kind of how we've gone to monocrops, and the issues that we've created. So for instance, there's 1,500 species of bananas, but in the world, we only focus on one. And then the human being, we used to eat 6,000 species of food. Now we only focus on 9, and 3 of them are 50% of our diet, which include rice, maize, and wheat. So then it got me thinking, if that many foods are going to extinction, what is there in fibers, or what is there in cellulose? What is there in bast fibers? Things like cotton, hemp's coming, great, everyone's investing in this. What else is there? Nettles, they grow wild, they're part of the bast family. There's a lot of others out there. So I think the research that needs to be done, you need to be aware of these things coming and ask questions. And if we do, we push people to invest in these things. And then the last bit is, I'm lucky enough to have Kew Gardens. I've gone all the way down to the seed level. This is near me, which is a seed bank that holds 2.4 billion seeds and 40,000 species. So I'm now researching into this and see which ones they have, and maybe we could do a project together. And looking at like here, harnessing the power of the plant and the chemicals. What chemistry could we get? What chemistry could we get from plants and then put into denim washing, for instance? Could we do everything organic and neutral and everything like this, for instance? It's a fascinating kind of question that we could look at. Okay, I always like to finish with some further reading. I'm running out of time, so I'll quickly put it all on the screen. These are some of the books I've been looking at, some of the research I've been looking at, Eating to Extinction I've mentioned. These are the books in the last 6 months. You can see how kind of my curiosity has led me. Avant's amazing one with vintage garments, zero waste. Danielle's going to be on later. It's going to be amazing. But seeing what everyone's doing, understanding it, understanding what's going on in the industry, Let My People Surf from the founder of Patagonia is really good on the basic level of understanding what sustainability is and what it means. And Atomic Habits all about, it's kind of that why at the start where you get this into your head and you do it apparently 21 times or 21 days in a row, and it becomes a habit. So you look at things and you question it in certain ways. And then there's a couple of more resources you can look at Empower Insider, Inside Denim, Blue Lens, loads on Blue Lens to watch some videos. Let me finish here. I'd say stay curious and questioning everything. Stay with a childlike sense of curiosity, I'd say.
Well, you've inspired us with your enthusiasm and curiosity, Rowan.
Hopefully.
Yeah, amazing. What do you think? Because it seems like you've got a finger in every pie when it comes to curiosity and you're researching loads. How does that translate into industry? Because you're a consultant as well. What do you think your sort of most proud moment is of using this curiosity and then something coming to life in industry?
I think it's that curiosity of finding things. I'd say fiber trace, for instance. I was curious about that, and I reached out to it when it first came out. Met the founder. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing!" Blew my mind. Gave it to people. Said, and it took you 2 years to come to market. But working with one of the mills I work with, they bring it to market now. So it's nice to see these things coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you got any tips for educators, because there's quite a few of us here, that how to spark the students' curiosity more?
I think at the end, I had a couple of things to sign up for. I would say a lot of those, I've seen things come through, like Inside Apparel or Inside Denim. Things will come through and you'll see something on like Bio and Indigo. You go, that's cool. I wonder what it's. Then you Google it, you find out who's done it. Then you might want to go on LinkedIn and link in. And then Michelle, who did the bio, I linked in, said, you're going to be a kingpin to meet up and just have a chat and know more.
So networking and chatting.
I think so. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Yeah. Everyone's nice in the industry, believe it or not. It's daunting, but everyone's nice. Reach out to them.
Say.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, brilliant. And do you think this curiosity can affect our academic research in a way?
Sorry, I missed
universities. Well, this curiosity, obviously, for research and academic research, we need to have some curiosity. But how do you think it affects the focus of our research, for example, that we may do at AMFI?
I think it will keep you. It will give you a broader research view, and then you've got all these avenues. And you have to bring it down. Like in this presentation, I had to bring down everything I'm doing into the presentation, so you see where my brain is. So it's kind of having that, but having those channels. And I think the last slot with the point number 5 of just looking beyond your field is, I definitely encourage it, because you're going to see these things, algae, all these different fibers coming into the market. They're small scale at the moment, but they will come through, all these things, because they have to, because we can't rely on what we've got at the moment.
So maybe that's a little bit getting out of our comfort zones as well and exploring other things.
I spoke in Mandarin for the first time live, so that's out of my comfort zone by miles. By miles.
That was very impressive. My standard, I wouldn't even dare. So congratulations on that. No. Rowan, thank you very, very much for your talk. It's been very inspiring, and good luck with all of those projects. They sound amazing. We hope to see something more live in industry.